Welcome back everybody to Champion Select here for our winners bracket final. We're all the way towards that right hand side of the bracket.
Yes, we are indeed, and we have a big game coming up now. We've got Unicorns of Love going up against Rain eSports. Now, we've cast Rain for the last few games, and they have not failed to disappoint. What? Failed?
They have not disappointed.
They've not disappointed.
We'll go with that one.
Yeah, we'll
It's
go
okay.
with that one. I was about to throw in like a triple negative there.
I honestly feel like there's the ban I was waiting for out of Rain. I was thinking everybody that's seen Unicorns of Love must be looking to ban out Leona. I feel like Hylisang's not going to get Leona for the rest of the tournament. But saying that, Morgana banned out as well by Unicorns leaves Thresh available for the first pick. And Unicorns are incredibly comfortable picking that up, and we're going very quickly here. Orianna Jax picked up in response.
Orianna Jax, I mean, obviously I think Warrior has been playing Jax incredibly well the last few games, so that's a really solid pickup, I feel, for him. You know, he's gone big both games that we've seen him play Jax so far, so, you know, giving him that is pretty good. And Digger had a really good Orianna game, although we didn't think it was ban-worthy. I do think he had a good impact, and so they could be looking to emulate that team comp that they had last time. Nutri may be looking to go for the Nocturne now that the Kha'Zix is banned out. We saw him play really well there.
So, interestingly that you bring Nocturne up, I was speaking to FM actually, and they were saying that in all of the games, Unicorns were running Nocturne, Ziggs, and Leona. And those were like the three champions. So
and Ziggs and Leona banned out.
Exactly.
Obviously, maybe they could pick up the Nocturne, and it looks like they're going to. So it is the champion that they're comfortable with. Master of Sheepy is a very good jungler and can make good use of Nocturne. So now I think they're going to have another ball delivery system for Nutri. Elise is a fairly decent one. You can get involved in the middle of the team fight. Not quite as good as Nocturne, although I don't know if I like Elise as much in the jungle now.
From here, I was thinking it's going to be something like a Xin Zhao, a Jarvan Elise, anything that has some kind of gap close. I feel like ever since the nerfs, Elise is just at a point where she's okay.
Yeah, I mean, she's balanced.
Yeah,
that's where you want to be, but the problem is there's just junglers that aren't balanced, so it just seems like she's a bit rubbish, really. Now, Hylisang on Thresh. I haven't seen him play much Thresh, but considering how good he is at both Morgana and Leona, I can imagine he'd be very good. And people in the chat are saying he's a Thresh god. This is some of the following that they've got. So, you know, I'm expecting to see some flashy plays coming out.
He is pretty good at Thresh. Like, I would list it as his third best champion, which I've cast them a couple of times, and I spectate a lot of their games. That's not to say third best is anything bad. I just feel like his Leona is exceptional. His Morgana tends to win them every lane I've ever seen it in. And Thresh is Thresh, and he's good mechanically, so he's bound to be good on Thresh.
There was an interesting topic that was brought up on Reddit where it was said, are you sure it's the people that are good at Thresh, or Thresh is a good champion?
Yeah.
Because everyone seems to be good at Thresh if they're a top tier support.
But at the same time, I think like Thresh, the champion, if you're not good, if you're not mechanically good, you're not a good Thresh.
Yeah.
So it's just the case that when you get to that level, he's just a champion that everybody should have, and that is a Yorick.
Yorick being locked in. We haven't seen a Yorick this tournament now. Yorick is one of those champions that hasn't been changed. He has a rework coming, but he hasn't ever really been changed. He has now been given his ghouls now give 5 gold when you kill them, and he's also had a couple of nerfs to his lifesteal over the time, but still like a very solid champion. And I don't know if you know Inverted Composer. He's a singed main in North America, quite famous over there for having some singed tip videos. Was big on Reddit for a while. Once singed got nerfed, he started to pick up another champion. That champion was Yorick. Every game I've seen Inverted Composer play, he gets first blood on Yorick.
Well, I kind of feel like this is going to be a really boring top lane.
Yeah, well, again,
Yorick lanes always are.
Rain may initiate a lane swap.
Yeah.
We have seen it from them in the past.
And that's one of the difficulties with playing Yorick in a lane swap meta. Is he's not the best at lane swapping. I mean,
the thing is, he's slow. He's got low mobility. He requires his ghouls to hit for his attack speed, and his ghouls don't. For his lifesteal, and he doesn't have a large amount of. You know, in a 2v2, they won't last very long, so you won't get the lifesteal off. And there's a large cooldown on there. Yorick excels at slow-paced attrition lanes, which you can get out of Jax. You can get that out. He's very good at bullying out melee champions when he gets to level 3 and 5. That's where he hits his spikes, where he gets the spikes and his all 3 ghouls up, and then he gets the 2 levels in his lifesteal ghoul. So end up with level 3 life steal at level 5, obviously. So that's when he started to do his real damage. I do like the Yorick ultimate into the LeBlanc and the Lucian though, because once if LeBlanc goes down and after an initial burst, you get the Yorick ultimate on him. 10 seconds is enough for a complete rotation for LeBlanc to be up again, so she can get a complete rotation off again when she's dead. And even without the ultimate, a complete rotation from LeBlanc can do anywhere between 50 and 70% HP. Yeah,
that's something to look forward to as we head into the game. I always find, I don't know, I always just tie Yorick to being just really boring to play against.
Honestly, he is boring to play and boring to play against, to be honest. Like, Yorick's entire... Okay, there is a little bit of mechanical nuance behind Yorick. Got to know when to use your Omen of War as well as your Omen of Famine and Omen of things. So Omen of War is the one where you auto attack and it gives you the speed boost.
Right.
You've got to, there's like knowing which order to use your ghouls in, as well as keeping all 3 ghouls up at the same time, or as many ghouls up as you can possibly. So there's a little bit of mechanical skill behind there, but apart from that, he's hit Q, W, E, try and auto attack a champion. That's almost the entirety behind a Yorick lane. But if he gets ahead, he can really start to put pressure down, and we'll see some, if he gets to that position, he'll start to snowball and start doing some real damage to Jax. The one thing that Yorick does target himself for, he puts a big red target over his head and says, I have no escapes, I'm very slow, gank me.
Yeah, for sure, and that's one of the problems that I feel they're going to have here. I'm heavily anticipating the lane swap. I don't think Rain would put Jax in a 1v1 situation against Yorick. Melee range, not good against Yorick. Very, very difficult to do anything from that stage. And from there, then in the 2v1 and Yorick, I don't feel is going to be able to move out of that lane easily.
Yorick will really suffer against the Karma Caitlyn lane. I think it is the sensible option for Rain here. He's a melee champion. He's very squishy early on. Caitlyn will be able to auto-attack him down, and if Karma gets her inner fires, especially boosted with her mantra, she'll be doing a lot of damage, and Yorick will really suffer. The thing is for Jax is he's going to suffer in a 2v1 too, but he'll do better than Yorick. Now, I only put it to this way. Jax has got the potential to get kills in a 2v1 situation, so if you have the counter-strike on with the leap strike when you're level 2, if you get ganked, he can get kills,
yes,
and they can get ahead in a 2v1 lane. Yorick, on the other hand, does not have that potential. He doesn't win early burst gank trades. He wins long, drawn-out trades over a period of a lane. Once he gets that tier, that's when he really starts to shine. A bit like Ryze, needs that tier to survive in the lane. So, I think it would be silly for Rain not to force the 2v1.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And here's where we're into a tough spot on 2v1s, which we brought up in the Infused Rain game, which was, when you 2v1, you have to rotate correctly. And
you have to make it count, yeah.
And this is the difference, I feel, that Unicorns of Love will have over every single team in this tournament, is they have played many games and won against pretty much the best rotating challenger team of Cloud9 Eclipse. I feel like Cloud9 Eclipse's rotations and everything about their play is so much better than most other challenger teams, and Unicorns of Love have 2-0'd them in the past.
Yeah, I mean, Unicorns of Love have shown why they're one of the best challenger teams in Europe right now, and I think Rain have a good rotation. We've seen that against Enigma, but I'll be honest, you said that Unicorns of Love have dealt with that, and they dealt with Cloud9 Eclipse. I don't think Rain's rotations are up to that level.
Well, that's my thing, is if they're going to initiate the lane swap, they then have to have the rotations at that level.
Nutri needs to step up another level for his dragon control. He needs to, if he's going to rotate, they need to get that tower, rotate bot, and take dragon before Unicorns of Love can instigate the same. What we have to notice here is that if Rain initiates the lane swap, they're going to be putting their duo lane top. So they're going to lose the dragon control early on, which means if Unicorns of Love don't answer, they will be pushing that bot lane turret and then immediately have the dragon control, and that's where they need to be careful. So Rain really have to be confident in their ability to push that top lane turret now. With the Riot of trying to enforce the meta of discouraging 2v1, they're going to really struggle, because taking down that bot lane turret is so much easier than taking down the top lane turret.
And at that situation then, you're forcing your opponents into committing to it, and Rain are actually going to go aggressive here. Duskbringer is going to tag 3, actually just 2 of them by the looks of it, but that's a lot of of information gained knowing that Rain were in there. They'll see that path move underneath that first target.
Oh, looks like Zodiac jumps over with the distortion. Obviously taking distortion first to clear the waves, as LeBlanc often do. You can get a bit of early damage off with those distortions as well against an Orianna, but hell, Digger may have taken that command protect first, as he has, so he may be able to escape the most of that damage. Now, interesting, there is no lane swap initiated. This is going to be a straight up 2v2, 1v1, 1v1 lane, so we'll have to see how Jax fares. If he gets ganks from Nutri early on, they will do well. They will, because Yorick is very weak early on.
But it looks like Nutri is going to start red buff.
So he's not going to be heading top early.
Is going to put him bottom lane at that 3-minute timer.
Maybe they're saying, right, look, we know that Jax is not going to have the best time versus Yorick. Even when he gets ahead, Yorick can still come back against the Jax. So let's focus on our bot lane. Let's get Karma ahead. Let's get Caitlyn ahead and put Hylisang behind as well.
I feel like Jax should be okay up until Yorick hits level 3, at which point he's got all of his ghouls, and that's a lot of damage.
The one problem is for Yorick, though, is if Jax can sustain through that or avoid most of the damage with the counter-strike, Yorick will use his mana very quickly until he gets that tier, because he doesn't have very good passive mana
bottom lane.
Oh, bottom lane getting caught out quite early on. Vardag's getting a lot of damage. I don't think they're going to flash onto him because the heal is still available, but that's going to force Vardag's back, and looks like Inner Flame is coming out as well to force Hylisang. Well, that's going to be good for Omega, actually. He's going to have lane control from now on, because he's forced Vardags to use the pot already. They're going to have to rely on Nocturne coming down, but considering Nocturne started red, that won't be for a little while.
Yeah, it is going to take a while.
And he's forced them back already, so he used that pot and went back.
And I feel like that's one of the strongest points about Unicorns of Love is just how good their duo lane are. You can see Zodiaz is going to go aggressive in that middle lane, put as much pressure on Digger.
Vinus actually getting a lot of damage off onto Jax with those Omens of, I think it's Famine, yeah, Omen of Famine coming down already. Already down to half health. He's going to stick another one down, as well as the Omen of Pestilence, so he's going to get slowed while the damage comes down. Jax, again, like we said, not having a best time, but look, Vizzy is nearly out of mana, so he could get a bit of respite soon.
He's going to give away that little bit of gold every now and again. The ghouls will end up giving away, so it's only a tiny thing. It doesn't break Yorick to the point where he's not useful anymore, but again, this bottom lane pressure is just keeping up here from Rain. They're getting a lot of damage.
Down in the mid lane. Zodiac's forced to flash by Nutri's Cocoon coming out, Digger getting away at the back line too, so Zodiac has now lost his flash, does still have Ignite available to try and go for the kill, also used a little bit of mana at trying to get Nutri to back off. Nutri doing the sensible thing though, it is just going to rotate round to try and pick off either Nocturne or LeBlanc, but LeBlanc I fear now is a little bit too pushed, getting a lot of damage onto Digger as well. So, in this bot lane, like you were saying, Vardag's still level 1, about to hit level 2 off this next minion or the minion after, I believe, so they're going to finally catch up a little bit. No, it's actually Hylisang that's the first level there, so level 3 on Omega compared to the level 2 on Vardag. So, again, this bot lane doing a really good job. Hylisang just missing that hook there, going to take an Inner Flame to the face for his troubles.
Flash actually came forward from Nutri in that middle lane. Really? Yeah, he flashed forward to try and land a Cocoon, but couldn't quite get it. And ended up just kind of heading into lane to do nothing much. It was free information and time spent a little bit wasted there by Rain's jungler. But Nutri, you know, he's pretty content with heading back to the jungle.
Vizzy's doing a really good job of keeping Jax off this minion wave in the top lane. He's trying to freeze it now, and it's currently 11 CS, now 12 CS ahead. So I really feel for Warrior in this top lane, not having a good time with the Jax, is going to get forced into that rush. That's the best way to play against Yorick ghouls. You do run into a rush without vision and the ghouls will drop off you, but with the Pestilence on there, you are moving quite slow.
It's going to be Elise coming around to this top lane though. Vizzy, as long as he isn't too far out from his tower, should be fine with this and should be able to just get this wave.
Yeah, I feel like Nutri could be wasting his time here, because I think Yorick Vizzy is pushed a little bit too far up and the wave is not pushing in his favour either, so I don't know, Nutri needs to find another lane, as Yorick is now trying to back into the turret, unless they're going to wait for him to back, but I doubt it with that minion wave.
I don't even feel like under turret they're that effective against him, because as soon as he throws down a load of ghouls, he'll have quite a bit of damage himself.
And he can also block a Cocoon with those ghouls.
Yeah.
I mean, Yorick's very good at doing that. All you need to do is throw an Omen of Pestilence in front of you and it will take the Cocoon for you. Right now, the bot lane is pushing back in favour of Slight, or Omega rather, and that's 13 CS to his lead. Vardax has come out okay from that, considering he backed at level 1.
Yeah, to be honest, I was mentioning earlier, I feel like that bottom lane, we've seen Hylisang set it up, hasn't had the ability to do so quite yet on Thresh, but they are at a level disadvantage. As soon as Caitlyn and Karma back off, they'll get that experience back in that lane after the first back. So it's one of those things that it's that race to 6, but Unicorns are just going to play this one safe down in the bottom lane.
Master of Sheepy doing a good job of farming up, and actually Nutri keeping himself in check with his farm too. So only 5-6 CS off Nocturne, which isn't too bad for this stage of the game. In that mid lane though, Ziadak is going to go into a gank position. He's going to get caught out by the Cocoon. May go down here. The silence, Synergy of Silence has come down. Nutri is forced to go back. Heal comes out from Master of Sheepy. First blood is going to go down right there. Zodiac going hard, and the ultimate comes out from him too. The Mimic Sigil of Silence just taunting him, wanting another ability to come down to finish the job, but Nutri escaping with his life, if only barely. But Nocturne ultimate is now available, so he has to be very careful. Is he going to ultimate onto the turret? Could be giving his own life away if he does.
Yeah, I think it'd be a little bit low if he went in on that one. I think he wants to. You can see him thinking
thinking about it, but I think he knew Nutri had some pots going on. Wasn't going to one-shot him. In that top lane, we see Jax at 18 to 55 CS. Ghouls doing their work under the turret. Jax having to ignore them for the CS. Looks like Vizzy is going to get a bit of damage down as well. And forcing Jax to move away from the turret. Look at the damage coming down from those Ghoul stress.
So difficult to contend with that, even under his Tower Warrior, all the way down to 200 health. I mean, this is one of the strengths of Yorick, is you can't do much against him, but he doesn't have much to offer. It is the problem.
Yeah, he's a late game monster. Yorick is a late game monster. He's basically a 10-second revival for your carry of your choice, or tank of your choice, or yourself of your choice. But until then, he doesn't have too much to offer. He needs to finish some core items before he becomes potent. So he needs that Muramana into the upgrade of that. Is it Manamune? Yeah,
Manamune into Muramana.
Oh, Manamune. So he needs that Manamune into Muramana. And then he probably needs to finish off the Spirit Massage before he can really sustain himself enough in teamfights to be relevant. But again, if he gets himself ahead in levels, he'll just have that level advantage over most of range. He'll just be relevant per se from that. In that mid lane, Zodiac doing a really good job, but actually Digger's still keeping up in CS despite having died early on.
Well, speaking about CS, I mean, that top lane is the most staggering difference that we've got. I mean, I know we were looking a little bit on mid lane of how close they were, but it's actually a staggering amount. I can't believe it's nearly 70 to 22 here, but that's why we said Rain perhaps should have looked for that lane swap. Because
yeah, I think it would have been more in their favour to go for it. And by the looks of it, Vizzy wasn't that bothered about going down to the bot lane, anticipating it. Maybe they were thinking to out mind game them, so just put it into normal lanes, thinking that they will get a lane swap. But yeah, it's again something you can't really risk. I really liked the way that Rain played in their first game with that deep ward to find out if the lane swap. If they had reciprocated that, maybe they could have got away with finding out. But there was the cover from Unicorns of Love, so they had to be careful there.
Yeah, flash out in the middle lane there from He's got the flash from Orianna. Bottom lane, Bad Ice forced back behind the turret. Hook didn't quite land onto Nutri, but you know, Unicorns of Love having a good showing here. 1,200 gold ahead so far. No objectives have gone down yet, though.
I am impressed with the bot lane from Rain. They're doing a really good job of pushing their advantage. It's like Warrior is going to be forced to flash after Master of Sheep. He does get the fear down, doesn't have the mana to follow up on the ultimate if he does use it, so he's just going to gracefully back out of that one and take a bit of oh, Rain Blackjack just took out Lucian, but Hook onto turret does get the kill onto Caitlyn. Nutri's going to try and tank up the turret a little bit, is going to get away with the Karma shield. They're probably going to dive Hillside, but here comes the teleport. They're going to have to be really quick about it, and he's slowed down from the Flay. Unfortunately, Yorick being Yorick has no gap closing. The Omen of Pestilence will get onto him though, the flash, and wow, the damage coming out from the Omen of the thing. That was a really great play by Yorick. Used the Omen of Pestilence to get the vision on Nutri, saw it, caught him, then flashed and got the kill.
No gap close, but a flash will suffice.
Yes,
that'll do. I don't mind about that.
Who says Yorick isn't useful?
It's okay, I'm going to TP flash bot lane for a kill, and now I'm going to shamble my way back up to top after a while.
He's got that...
He's actually taken the long route back. He's gone through mid, up river, rather than going back and buying as well.
Yeah, he just really wants to get up there and try and get that CS before Jack pushes turret. But hey, he finished that Muramana now, so Manamune now, so he's going to start doing a little bit more damage with his auto attacks. Also, with every ghoul he has on the map, that's another 5% increase to his AD. So again, Yorick quite scary once he gets those two items and his passive on the go.
with regards to items, triple Doran's ring for LeBlanc. Typically we'll see DFG LeBlanc. Triple Doran's ring, I feel, is going to delay that DFG.
I do feel it's a bit. I feel it's a bit excessive considering he's not behind in lane.
Yeah.
Maybe he's looking just to get these early game team fights before he finishes his DFG. Does look like Unicorns of Love are hovering around the dragon area now. Master of Sheepy has warded it up and got the control. He just needs to make a play bot lane. I don't think it's sensible enough of him to go in by himself while the rest of Rain are available. Looks like Nutri's going to take a Sigillus Silence to the face. The distortion out from LeBlanc means he is going to be safe. Zodiac sitting on the back side of the wall there. They are going to clear out that pink ward though, so that was a bit of an awkward pink ward battle going on there.
Yeah, but Dragon has been rewarded, re-pink warded as well, so there's a lot of wards out for Rain on that bottom side of the map. They're trying to hold on to the Dragon control for as long as possible. Master Sheepy might get locked down by the tether.
They get locked down and the inner flame comes down to get the slow off, but that's not going to do much to Master of Sheepy. Not going to worry too much about that. Jax has been forced back in that top lane too, level 7 to level 9, and the CS difference is outstanding. Doesn't look like Nutri is going to head down to the Dragon. He knows the teleport isn't available on Yorick. The ultimate from Master of Sheepy comes in. He's going to follow up onto Blackjump and then just backs out at the last moment, realizing he had no mana. Oh, the burst from Nutri and the heal comes out. He's going to survive with a minimal amount of health, and that's just going to be forcing them off the Baron. So, job accomplished really for Unicorns of Love.
Yorick takes the top lane tower as well, and the rotation is on towards the middle lane. They're not sending Vardax down to the up to the middle lane either, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a full push onto the turret. Hook over the wall, but without the minion wave in range. That's not the trip that Thresh wants to be taking there, and I just don't know how they're going to deal with this Yorick for now, because Jax is the person that ideally they would have liked to have been dueling against the top laner, but Yorick he can't do that against.
And I did say earlier about Nutri doing a good job of keeping up with CS and Nocturne. Right now he is going the other way. He's down to 40, Nocturne up at 73, as you would expect, considering that Nutri has gone for Ancient Golem, going for that tanky play. Hasn't had the impact that he needed to in the early game to make it worth it.
So there's one thing that I'm looking at on Zodiaz, and I feel like it is going to be that DFG needlessly large rod first, as he has got about 2,000 gold, but I was a little worried that there was a trend we'd seen from LeBlanc's going Athene's Unholy Grail first, just for kind of a more farm-centric lane. You get a lot of farm, you get the cooldown reduction, the mana regen. However, with the triple Doran's ring, I was afraid if he was going that way,
because
it would delay his damage. It would delay his damage so much that he wouldn't be as useful in the middle game. However, he is stacking on a lot of gold, is going back now, so I'm expecting finishing the Fiendish Codex with the needlessly large.
But you saw how much damage you did to Nutri before, and there you are, you're exactly right. He has got about another 500 gold to go before he can finish off that TFG, but right now, triple Doran's, Fiendish Codex and needlessly large rod going to be doing the most damage in the game anyway.
We saw him blow up Nutri, and that was without a needlessly large rod. Now
and
he's
Nutri
like,
won't survive this time. Nutri won't survive it. And there's no magic resist on the side of Rain right now. They haven't got the gold to play around with that, and it's just through a slow, meticulous CS advantage they've built a 3k gold lead at 14 minutes, and that's not from global objectives, that's not from kills, that is just from out CSing, and a lot of it is due to that top lane.
Credit where it's due to Rain, as Zodiaz goes aggressive once again. This time Digger got the shield off on himself.
Ooh, Busy's come down for Dragon.
He has come down for Dragon, but fair credit to the bottom lane of Rain. They kept ahead on CS and haven't really dropped anything apart from that one kill over to Thresh, so that's a good spot for Rain to be in for that bottom lane, and we'll see whether they can use that.
I do think, though, that Unicorns and Love have done an excellent job of coming back, considering the amount of level 1 damage they took. They were out of lane for a good 45 seconds at the start, and the level advantage is firmly in Rain's favour. So now that they've caught up, it kind of 20 CS doesn't mean too much at this point in the game.
Yeah, very true. You know, I feel like that's actually the gap that has just been maintained in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
That it's just that CS in that first 45 seconds, but didn't quite land onto Blackjack there. But this is a big push here out of Unicorns of Love. The minion wave has joined it. Hylasang is going to eat the trap.
Jax has teleport available right now, so he can come down if needs be. He did want to freeze that top lane out, but seeing how aggressive Yorick has been pushing the other lanes, I feel like he is now going to resort to pushing that top lane turret. Has hit level 10 now, so caught up in levels to Yorick. Not quite catching up in the CS though, and Yorick is already back in that top lane teleport, having just been used again.
I feel like that push was orchestrated to try and burn the teleport of Jax. They weren't pushing hard enough to take the tower, but just wanted that cooldown.
They wanted to throw out the idea that the dive was possible, or the tower taking was possible.
They wanted to stop Jax from pushing top without using their own teleport, because to bring him halfway across the map denies his push. Top tower's on a lot of health. They don't want to give him the free farm, so they had to deal with him somehow. However, didn't get baited into it. They forced their own teleport to be used. They'll kind of be okay with that, but you know, it's just one of those things that push was kind of just a bit of a bait.
In the mid lane, we saw Zodiac's flash over the Orianna ball in an attempt to get a kill. I think possibly pre-anticipating the shockwave as she was on low health, then just distortioning back, gaining nothing but a burnt flash for no reason there. Nutri hasn't been back in a while, and he's currently sitting on 800 gold, so probably can pick up a Negatron trade, but it's very much needed. But right now, the Feral Flare has been completed on Master of Sheepy. A hook goes down onto Nutri. He's going to go down on his turret. The upturn ultimate comes down onto Blackjack. Nutri taking a lot of damage. Is the heal available to keep him safe? He's going to get away anyway. Omega is going to try and dupe them out with a 50 caliber net. The inner flame comes down, and the Coon lands on Valix, but a flash play is such a good play from Halisang. Here comes the flash from Lucian too. Nocturne comes in, the hook comes down onto Omega, the heal comes out too. There's the Thresh following up the hook. Blackjack gets the snare onto him too. Master of Sheepy is just going to trade the 1-for-1. Omega taking it. Here comes Nutri. He's going for the kill. He's going to pick up the kill on Master of Sheepy. Are they going to turn onto Vardex? Blackjack's trying to say yes. Nutri's trying to say no. They are just going to back off out of that one.
Without Hylasang, they didn't have the crowd control available. Zodiaz will take down Digger in the middle lane as Vizichachi is pushing on that top lane again. And how do you deal with this Yorick? He is nearly double the CS of the Jax. He's just taking towers wherever he wants it. I just don't know how you deal with that.
Yeah, unfortunately the Jax pick was early on, the Yorick pick was late on, and it kind of lost the lane for him. Like we said, lane swap would have been the better option for them. They did not go for that, and I think they're paying for it right now with a 6k gold advantage going over really to the side. I can't even count. It's 5.5, nearly 6k.
Never do maths on stream.
Never do maths on stream. Yeah.
Easy numbers is
nearly 6k gold advantage in favour of Unicorns of Love, and at 18 minutes that's quite significant.
There we go. Approximates and easy numbers is what we do.
You did tell me never do maths on stream. Apparently I'm not listening to you.
It's okay. It's like me and Pulse figured that one out after a while of being like, well, we think it's like this exact number. And then we were like, no, never do.
Never do it. You just look silly. Blackjack is putting himself in a bit of a forward position, getting a couple of inner flames off. Unfortunately, he's out of that early game phase of the laning phase that Karma has, so not really doing too much damage now. Hasn't built in AP himself, bar that Frostfang, so that will be going over to the Frost Queen's Embrace.
Frost Queen's Play.
Frost Queen's
Yeah, it's kind of a weird one.
I keep wanting to say Agony's Embrace, but
okay. That would be a little bit broken if you.
Yeah, Frost Queen's Embrace is the item, just throw it out every 10 seconds or whatever.
Because I feel like Karma already has an Iceborne Gauntlet and a Talisman of Ascension built into her kit. Because you know the Mantrade abilities just really come.
You have to choose which one you want to use, though. So
that is true, but having it on such a low cooldown is very nice.
Very much so, and obviously she gets the cooldown reduction from auto attacks and single target spells too. Nutri is going to get spotted out by a ward in that mid lane. There's a lot of people around. Got to be careful of Zodiac. He is looking for a kill over that wall, as you can tell, standing there right at the side of that wall brush. In the mid lane though, we do have Nutri trying to defend out. Now Nutri has had a poor game in terms of farm. He's really struggling to keep up with the gold that Nocturne is generating. And this is the problem, I feel. If you're picking a gank heavy jungle into a feral flare jungler, you have to get the ganks off, and Nutri just hasn't had that ability this game. He's done well, but not well enough to deal with Master of Sheepy, who we have seen previously farm with these feral flare junglers.
Yeah, and speaking of gank heavy junglers against not only feral flare heavy junglers, but Nocturne in the jungle, it's again, he was brought in as a counter to Pantheon a couple of weeks back, probably about halfway through the spring split, because of how good he is at counter ganking. And we saw that in the middle lane. He got into lane at the right time, predicted the gank. Warrior might be in a little bit of trouble here, but this is going to be a slow and painful death.
Yeah, no, I think he's going to get away fairly easily. Had the leap strike available too, if needed, as well as the ward to jump to. Look at Zodiac, he's going to come in onto slide. The DFG comes down, and the ethereal chain second proc proccing that Mimic Sigil of Silence, and wow, that was 100-0 if I've ever seen one in my life.
Yeah, that was a pretty big win first there. Just DFG, get that extra amplification, and boom, half the health gone.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to rotate round for Dragon 2. Teleport is available for Yorick if he is called for, and I just think Rain is going to give this one a, and wow. Unicorns of Love are looking strong right now, Stress. Can anyone sort of shut them down?
That is a good question. We're getting to the stage of the tournament where these are the teams that we'd be expecting to compete for that. I mean, if you looked at the seeding, eSports were ranked 2 and couldn't defeat Unicorns of Love. Unicorns of Love would go 2-0 over. And Unicorns of Love was something like, I think, ranked 3 or 4, seeded 3rd or 4th. So interesting, interesting.
Well, we have a couple of things going on in the lower bracket right now. I believe Perilous Rift and Perilous Void going up against each other. The
Another
winner.
Perilous Mirror.
Yeah, the winner of that. Oh, looks like the Nocturne Ultimate is going to come down onto the Orianna. Digger going to flash over the wall. The Shockwave hitting 2 members, but not doing too much damage. Yorick comes in from the back line, but the burst potential of the LeBlanc is shown there, and Nutri goes down like a fly to a light.
Spider to a
yeah, that's right.
Something.
I was thinking of those, you know, those things that zap the flies.
Oh yeah.
But I couldn't think of the name, so I just said light.
Light. Okay. It's okay. I can't remember what it's called either. Something to do with
fly
mosquitoes.
zapper.
Yeah. It's probably.
But
like
then you can't really run. You can't really run with a fly to a fly zapper. It doesn't run nicely, does it?
No.
But anyway, yeah, in the lower brackets we do have that Perilous Mirror match, and the winner will be going up against Enigma. I believe FM Esports will be playing.
I think it's the winner of
Infuse.
And
Getting better at league.com. Yes, yes. So that'll be coming through, and we'll be seeing a losers bracket final 2 at the end of this time, and then tomorrow we'll be seeing both the grand final and the consolation match. The ace in the hole comes onto Zodiacs, and like you said, Caitlyn is fairly good to pick up. Oh, the flash from Rain. Nutri comes through. Nutri's going to try and chase onto Zodiac. He does use a mirrored Mimic right there. He's going to try and get away with distortion. He doesn't have it. He uses the flash. The ethereal chains comes down. Really good play. He's going to get away with it. Digger forced to use the shockwave onto Versace, and Versace's going to try and get a bit of damage down. Gets the he's taking no damage right now. He's just going to back off nicely. Warrior is going to be forced away too. And wow, this is just how strong Yorick is at this moment in time.
Have we even seen a Yorick?
No.
I'm thinking about it. I can't.
I don't think we've seen one Yorick though.
He hasn't needed
to do it.
Yeah.
Nutri forced to use the repel to get away from the damage that Yorick is, and they're just going to back off. The cocoon comes out, not possibly engaged, more of a defensive cocoon. They're going to try and kill off Yorick's ghouls. They are pesky and will chase you for days.
Unless you're running to a bush, then they kind of give up. They're not the smartest of ghouls.
No, they don't understand how brush mechanics work.
No.
They don't like. Well,
to be honest, I don't either.
Actually, they're probably smart. They don't like face checking.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I was going to say.
Oh, the hook comes onto Blackjack. He's a dead karma as Slight is going to try and take the ghouls down that are sitting in his face. Vichy is taking so much damage, but he's so healthy at the same time because he has that Omen of Famine to heal him up, and it's doing a lot of work for him as well. Nocturne also there, just trying to get a bit of damage. They're on this inhibitor turret now, but look at the distance, doing a third of Vardag's health. He's going to be really careful, but the burst from... oh my word. The burst from LeBlanc one-shots even the Orianna, who has itemized a bit of magic resist. Wow. They've got to really think about their bans next game, because there is some really key champions here that I think are just too good for Rain to deal with.
An inhibitor tower is going to go down here before you.
Oh, the Nocturne ultimate comes down onto Enega. He's going to be really careful. He just get out of the Thea though. As the Yorick ultimate, the first one in the game is used. Warrior is healed up by Karma with the what the hell is it called? What's the Mikhail's Crucible. Yeah, Karma now flashes out of there. Not too much else has happened, but the double kill going over to Zodiacs because he just does so much burst damage. Using the clone to tank up the turret too, which is very smart. Zodiacs may escape. He's going to take a tower shot and he gets shut down by Caitlyn. The shockwave taking down the Nocturne, but again, there's still a Lucian and a Yorick to deal with. I don't know if Slight can do anything here. He's going to get slowed down by the Omen of Pestilence and is just going to have to back away.
He's going to back away from that pretty scrappy fight there from both teams. I mean, they got the double kill onto LeBlanc for Zodiaz, but he ended up kind of overstaying. Master Sheepy dived in pretty deep, took a lot of shots from the Nexus turrets as well. And
it could be worth it though. They took the inhibitor for that.
Oh yeah,
so.
Of course. I just mean that it was by no means a clean-cut fight for either team, and that's going to be a turret going to Rain. Yeah, 4 turrets down to Unicorns. Unicorns of Love. Every time you see this actually, you still got an Animate eSports tag on, and I'm like, come on, you at least have, you must have had, you know, 13,000 IP to get a name change since then.
Oh dear. Anyway, yes indeed.
And I was going to say about the bush mechanics, I don't think you quite know how they work, because every patch they seem to change them, and it's like, we improved bushes!
Or you know, people standing in bushes and can't be seen because of slight particle differences and things like that. Everything coded as minions, unfortunately, in the League of Legends map. Looks like Blue Buff is going to go over to Zodiacs, and now they look like they're picking Baron. They have got control of the Baron area, but there is a ward in the Baron pit for Rain. Is going to get taken down by a pink ward, put down by Hylissang. Honestly, I haven't been too impressed with Hylissang's Thresh. I don't think he's been the mainstay of the carry here. Usually I'd sort of really tote his support play, but like you said, I think probably his third best champion, not one of his super sort of carry champions. He's done well, don't get me wrong.
He's just had a quiet game.
Quiet game, yeah.
It's not the Leona that's just smashing things.
Oh, the DFG burst from Zodiac completely destroys any sign of Digger on the map. He is gone for 40 seconds, and they may rotate round for this Baron. Looks like they're actually going to rotate top. I don't think they were using the Baron as a bait there. That top lane turret is looking fairly yummy, though. They want to take that down and get that top lane inhibitor. Vardite's just going to try and clear out this wave. Has got the Bloodthirster to heal at the bit of the damage that he's taking. It looks like Nutri is just trying to back away from that Omen of Famine that is so pesky and trying to get onto him. Yorick is in that front line right now. He is in there. He's taking with that Nocturne ultimate comes out. They're going to go down onto Blackjack. Blackjack's going to go down to Yorick. Nutri, Omega flashes out of the Nocturne ultimate and the Nocturne Fear. Warrior goes down to Hylissang. Omega and Nutri, the only one standing between them and the inhibitor turret right there, and they're going to have to back off. Orianna has just become available. Ace in the hole comes down, doesn't take out Barlegs. This turret is still fairly healthy, though. They need to be very careful. If Digger uses his command shot, but no, he doesn't use the distance, gets the kill onto Lucian. Master of Sheepy is so light now. They need to be careful. Zodiac's turning. He has got the DFG available. Great 50 caliber net. Going to force Zodiacs to go back. Nutriac picks up the kill there, and that was an inhibitor turret for 2 dead members. But however, it was a fairly even trade, and the inhibitor turret does make it worth it for Unicorns of Love.
Inhibitor turret leaves that top lane inhibitor exposed. The rotation is going to come out here from Unicorns of Love down towards the Dragon. That'll be extra gold going over to them. They're about 9,000 in the lead so far. Let's check how many they got on, how much they got on this person. A couple of members with just over 1,000 gold, and a couple around 1,000 as well. So it's a good time to go back and spend.
Oh, Nutri is going to try and get a flash onto this Dragon. The Shockblade comes out. Can they pick up the Dragon, though? Ooh. No, he kills Master of Sheepy, and Yorick gets the Dragon. So, unfortunately, Nutri not managing to get the smite off there. The exhaust comes down onto Yorick. He has got his ultimate, has just gone down. So, that's a shutdown going down to Digger. A bit of needless gold being handed over, but still, the Dragon kind of made it worth it. 2 deaths of Dragon is kind of a fairly good trade.
Nutri smite was barely not available.
Barely not available.
We're talking by 2 to 3 seconds after.
So it was very close.
I was watching it. I was like, "Come on, how did you not smite?"
They're going to rotate around for Dragon. Actually, Nutri gets caught out by Hylissang. The Cullen goes straight into his face, but did use repel to get away from the mainstay of it. Doesn't like Blackjack. Just get completely written off the map by Zodiac, and that's what you've got to be careful of. They can't take the Dragon while the LeBlanc is available. Baron does give you a stacking debuff in which you take more magic damage, which is why Gragas is so good.
Yeah, but they are losing, I would say losing health on the inhibitor, but there was super minions.
Zodiac's not going to let them back. The Warrior gets burst down by Zodiac again. The damage coming out from this LeBlanc is absolutely incredible, but LeBlanc does back away and give away the kill on Lucian. Nutri's going to try and take down Zodiac. The ace in the hole comes down onto the clone, in fact. Nutri's going to try and escape with the repel. One more Magul will finish the job. And there goes Digger and Omega running away right now. But look at it, burst coming down from LeBlanc. But Omega does get the ace in the hole into his face there and just managed to finish him off.
Just had the channel time completing on that ace in the hole.
Just before Distortion hit, it was so close.
On the way in.
Oh, they are going to try and take Baron now. Slight and Digger are trying to do something. A flash over the wall with the Nocturne ultimate comes down. Omega Slight is going to go down. Digger uses the shot gate on himself, and Blackjack is stuck in the middle there. Uses the heal onto Digger, and is both going to go down. Double kill going over to Nocturne right there.
Rotation around for that middle inhibitor. Likely the top one if they were to go for it as well. Although Visage actually is fairly low, so Jax could.
Yeah, but a low Yorick. Let's be honest about that.
That is a good point. A low Yorick is just going to steal that back up pretty quick.
Yeah, he's just going to get through this. They're going to pick up that mid-lane inhibitor. Got to be careful because the spawn timers are only around 10 seconds for 2 big champions, the Karma and the Caitlyn, on the side of Rain, but I'm not sure how much they can do about it because they have just so far behind the ball right now. The ghouls from Yorick doing all of the zoning work, not even needing a champion. Looks like Harlequin going to get caught out. Nutri goes hard onto him, gets forced away from the Dutch Springer. Here comes the counter-strike. Going to go onto Visasachi. He's going to try and go back in. Uses the lantern to get away. Here's Lucian in the background. The Cullen comes down. There goes down Blackjack. Warrior's going to go down too. And Nutri is going to back away and cut his losses, although he's going to get slowed down by Omen the Pestilence. He's going to use Repel, goes into the fray, is possibly going to get taken down by Master of Sheepy and Lucian. He's taking it quite a lot now by now. He's going to get feared. In the meanwhile, Digger is going to try and take down that ghoul, but unfortunately, Busy is probably going to get killed. No, he's going to get away with just his life. Omega manages to pick up the Thresh and the double buffs in the meantime. The ghoul Yorick has gone down, and I think they're going to take the 2 inhibitors and say, see you later.
I think that's a good plan.
Oh my god!
Back in.
The burst, we keep saying it, but it gets more impressive every time.
Just they die faster, and again. Oh, misses the
tether.
It
just misses the tether, but so close as well with the shockwave and the dissonance. Going to get escaped with the modicum of life. Oh, the Mantrad Q just missing on the Karma. Blackjack needs to be really careful. There comes the slow from Frost Queen's claim. She's going to try and back away. Try and gets the inner flame onto things. She's trying to run away, just trying to bait the Lucian into coming for her, but he's not interested. She's going to try and back in that brush or try and run away. Zodiac does have his eye on the map there. There he goes with a double distortion. Going to back away with the Mimic. Oh, the tether coming out from Karma. She's going to pick up the kill with the double bus being transferred successfully over to Balance.
Tether versus tether. Apparently, LeBlanc doesn't win that one.
Well, she was exhausted.
Very good point. It was that power of the exhaust at that point for Rain. Coming out ahead ever so slightly, but they're not ahead in this game. They are significantly behind. In fact, Zodiac is giving out the word chat. Not too sure about that, but if you get Baron, yes, you can probably say that.
Yeah, I mean the double buffs going over to Lucian isn't too bad. They're going to take out the Baron as well, so there's another chunk of global gold. Unfortunately, gold is just stacked too far in favour of Love right now. I'm not sure Rain have any way back into it, especially as Nutri has gone full tank, won't be doing too much damage. They're just going to take out that pink ward on the Baron side too. Digger's now picked up a couple of items. Once he gets that Void Staff, will be doing a lot of damage. Unfortunately, Jax is a long way off his Trinity Force though. Yeah,
and really he needs that Trinity Force to be effective at all. He can't really duel anything. Doesn't really have that kind of power, especially not a Yorick with a completed run.
Very much so. So, Unicorns in Love pushing out that bottom wave. Are they going to try and push down that bot lane turret, or are they going to go straight up and finish the game? Looks like most of them are grouping in the mid lane. It does look like Zodiac is going to back off and pick up that end of that GA. I think he's got enough gold. Yeah, 1,300. You only need 1,050 to complete it. So he is going to do that. And now he's got 4 items. So he's got a GA and 3 offensive items as well as his boots. So the amount of damage and survivability he has now will be incredible.
I'm expecting to see more and more Banshee's Veils in this game as this goes on, as Rain need to pick some up. They really do. They don't have the money to do it though, as they are so far behind, but Banshee's Veils are so important against a LeBlanc, and they just haven't got their core items completed for Rain. They haven't got the money to spend on Banshee's Veils to defend against LeBlanc, so it's just a point that it's a difficult position for Rain to be in. I don't know what it would take to come back in, because we're talking kind of 3 inhibitors down, getting back into this one somehow. It would just be one of those ridiculous comebacks.
With the extra armor that the GA provides Zodiac, he's going to get away with not too much health coming down off the Caitlyn ultimate there. To be honest, Omega is a little bit far behind, only working towards that Infinity Edge, while Lucian has got a lot of items, including the Trinity Force, one of the most expensive items in the game to complete. The purple inhibitor is respawned in the mid. That means the top lane inhibitor will be coming back fairly soon. However, they are both open, and decidedly how far ahead Unicorns and Love are, I wouldn't be too worried about them taking them down again. Looks like they are going to focus down this bot lane turret though. I reckon teamfights, I don't know if Rain have any way of winning. They don't have the damage to be able to compete with it. Master of Sheepy taking a lot of damage from Omega though, has to be careful. He's not the tankiest guy in the team right now. With the Last Whisper, doesn't have the armor to compete with that right now. It's Busy that has to be the front line for Unicorns of Love. They need to be really careful as this inhibitor is going to go down. I don't know if there's going to be a full-on engage from this. They are just going to work around their way around, try and take out the inhibitors one at a time. Rain doing a stellar job of trying to defend this though.
Yeah, they've got some decent wave clear with Oriana, but Zodiaz is going to go in.
He's going to go in. Looks like the Nocturnal is coming down onto Digger. He's going to try and back away. Uses the heal as well as the Karma Crucible thing. Busy's going to try and come onto the rest of the team. He's tanking up most of the team right now, doing all of the damage. He's going to go down. Lucian is there in the middle. A great shockwave, not used until the last minute. Look how low they are. This is a great job by Rain to try and pick up the last momentums of Unicorns of Love. And this is actually a 2-for-1 engage. 3-for-1 engage in favour of Rain. Nutri's going pretty hard right now, needs to be really careful, but does get a lock-up onto Zodiacs. There's Rain going down, a double kill going to Lucian. He's really quite powerful right now. Omega goes down to Lucian too, and Omega picking up the kill onto Lucian himself, and now it's just Zodiac available. He's still got his GA available though.
Yeah, Blackjack cannot duel against Zodiaz, even though Zodiaz is pretty low on mana. Zodiaz should just be prominent enough, although he is actually now out of mana, so we'll have to back off, but has shoved those super minions in. Super minions can head through the top wave as well very shortly, so it's a good position for Unicorns of Love to be in. They managed to turn that fight around when they really shouldn't have, when you take everything into account that led up to that, when they really should not have been able to pick up some exit kills in that exchange. But Unicorns of Love still 15,000 gold in the lead.
I don't think they're too worried about that little engage there.
No, I don't think they are at all.
Anyway, look, Dragon is just respawned. I'm not sure if Unicorn Bloods are going to divert their attention to it. It is a chunk of global gold, but what good is global gold going to do you when you've almost full builded everyone on your team? Infinity Edge has now been completed for Lucian as well as Omega. Omega's not as far behind as I was toting. I was probably being a little bit harsh there. He's got almost similar items as Lucian, just the Trinity Force difference to the Phantom Dancer. But again, Trinity Force synergizing so well with Lucian's kit, meaning he does a lot more damage at the moment. Caitlyn will have that damage late game as well as the as well as the range on Lucian. But right now, what is good is range when you have a LeBlanc and a Nocturne who are so scary and have those gap closers.
Gap closers seem to be the name of the game in this composition. You look at the LeBlanc, you look at Nocturne, and even that hook closing in is another good gap closer here on the Unicorns of Love.
Are going to force their way around. The DFG comes down onto Digger. He's going to be forced back. DFG has been used though, so won't be available for the next fight. Busy just forced off by the Karma, getting slowed down by that Mantra Q. They are going to just try and force their way onto this turret. The super minions are coming into the Nexus turrets. They will get this turret if they're here for a little bit longer. They're going to have to send Digger to deal with it. If they want, they can try and dive this. I'm not sure they're going to be that ballsy though. Nocturne has his ultimate available once again. I think they're just going to try and focus down the turret. Turret is possibly going to go down. As soon as it goes down, expect to see the Paranoia coming out. Paranoia goes straight down. Digger goes down to the LeBlanc. Looks like Vardags is going to pick up the turret in the meantime. And they get picking up the kill on the Yorick. He is ruled himself, so he is available for the next few seconds. Again, another kill going over to the Yorick, picking up Nutri. Again, this is 2-for-1 right now, although the Nexus turret is going down, and the Nexus goes down in the meantime.
The Nexus does fall as a couple of the members of Unicorns of Love did manage to pick that one up at the end. They just focused that one down and I ended up taking that one convincingly. That's game one of a best of three, however. We'll see what Rain can fire back with, but I think that picks and bans is going to be even more difficult this time, seeing that you can ban 2 of the 3 that they were expecting and still not be able to pull it off.
Well, LeBlanc and Yorick both carrying that game on their back. The amount of 100 to 0s we saw from Zodiac that game were incredible, picking off people like an absolute pro. Anyway, we are going to be heading into our second game. The first game going over to Unicorns of Love. It is a best of 3 right now. Can Rain bring it back? They are on the blue side this game. They do have first pick. What can they pull out of the bag? See you in a bit, guys.